Everyone is afraid of something. Some are afraid of other people, others are afraid of emotional pain, but mostly people are afraid of death. I chose the poem Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson because of its deep meaning and the powerful emotion the poem can impact you. Other than death is the irony of this poem. When I first read the poem, I thought that it was going to be depressing, but at the end of the poem, it turned out to be cheerful and it sent a positive message. The poem talks about the three stages in life: childhood, adulthood, and death. The speaker personifies death to a sweet, caring gentleman that cares about her. The poem's purpose, in my opinion, is to show individuals that death is not frightening. This is similar to Ashley Kennan, a middle school teacher's opinion, which is reconfigured the depiction of death. The poem was written around 1863. During this time, the American Civil War started, which is connected to the poem because the poem talks about death and how calm and gentle it is, and the Civil War created several deaths. Therefore, the poem might be towards people who have suffered from losses. The poem has 6 stanzas without a rhyme scheme. The form of the poem contributes to the meaning of the poem, like the use of indigenous punctuation and the type of the poem, which is a narrative. Some of the verbs that were mentioned in the poem were stop, drove, passed, and strove. They are all action verbs and convey the meaning of traveling from one place to another. Other words in the poem contribute the overall mood, like kindly, setting sun, gazing grain. These words are calming and soothing. Concluding that the point of this poem and the reason the speaker wrote it is to remind people that death is harmless. After researching about the early life of Emily Dickinson, I learned that she died of kidney failure. So death might be mentioned because of her suffering of this disease, and that she wanted death to take her. This poem impacts today's life because of the fact that death is most feared now, and hopefully it can change that. Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labour and my leisure too, for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at Teresa in the rain. We passed the field of gazing grain, we passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only gossamer, my gown, my tippet, only tulle. We passed before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice, and the ground. Since then, 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than a day. I first surmised the horses' heads were towards eternity.